Now it's time to build your advertising strategy. And we want to map this out first to be able to plan your campaigns. Before going straight to the account and set up your first ad, because that's not how we know what it is we need on your account, how is your account structure going to be, and how are we actually going to reach your advertising objectives. So here I will introduce you to this also within the budget that you have. So we will spend some time on making this exercise at first. It's for you to get notes that you can get back to. Once we advance to the different modules, everything will be in more detail. But this will be really helpful for you because it's laying the foundation at first. And this will guide you to reaching the right people, target the right people, knowing what to measure, and knowing what to set up in your campaigns. So this process here is also how I always start when taking on a new client, whether it's on a new ads account or if they're already advertising, to know what I will recommend for them with the types of campaigns, what they can promote, what to set as their budget, to know what I can recommend for the types of campaigns, what is realistic for them to promote within their budget, and also to get a better understanding of their business so I know what to highlight in the ads and the ad copy. So I know what to highlight in the ads, in the ad copy, and also which targeting settings to define to reach relevant traffic. So download the workbook here to take notes, and I will guide you through the different steps. You might already have the answers to all of it. It can also be that some of them you are in doubt, you're not really sure what to put there. But then I will also explain how it works to help you define the different points. What we're going to uncover are the following 6 steps. It's about your campaign goal. So what are your advertising objectives? It's promotion. What do you want to promote with Google Ads? Which of your services or products? It's targeting, who you want to target. And ranking on Google. So about finding the right search terms to rank on. Also landing pages. Where should the visitor land on your website after clicking the ad? And your budget. How much do you want to allocate on ad spend per month for Google Ads? These are really essential questions for you to answer before you get started. And also for you to remember all of the settings and steps that you need to apply before launching your ad. So it's also to introduce you to what is necessary for a complete campaign setup, and what campaign planning and your account structure, what this consists of, what is the process behind it. So it's for you to start this thought process already now, and it's something that you can work on along the way. First one is campaign goal. So what do you want to achieve with your Google Ads advertising? What are your objectives? And if we try to be more specific than, let's say, increasing traffic, get more leads, increase your sales, that's probably what we all want with advertising, but it doesn't tell us much. It doesn't tell us much about what we should do. So what do you want the visitor to do when they land on your website as the main objective? And here it's, let's say it's request an inquiry, call your business, book an appointment, sign up to become a member, start free trial. So what's the main thing you want them to do? And then secondary, it can be that they also subscribe to your newsletter, for example. Not that you're going to run a campaign for this goal specifically, but we are able to track actions for different conversion types. So if this is something that adds value to your business to get more email subscribers, for example, if you have that, then also note this one down. So make a difference between what is the primary ones and what could be secondary. And also if we think about, okay, having people contacting you, are your conversion rates, for example, are you better to make sales or get a new client when you get a phone call, or is it when they send in a lead form or contact form? This is also something to consider, to be more specific on where do you want to lead them once they get to your site, and which action do you want them to take. And this will also help us have one focus. Next, it's which results you want to achieve. So this can be the amount of sales, your revenue, how many inquiries or leads that you get in each month or for the next quarter. Because when you know these numbers, you have a goal about this, it will help define how much traffic potentially that you need to get in to reach this, and also the budget necessary. Or you can compare it to which budget you have available, and we can look at are these realistic goals compared to that. So let's say you have specific goals of how many leads, sales, or clients you want to book per month. If you know your numbers, if you know your conversion rate, then you can also calculate the way around. If you want, for example, 5 clients and your conversion rate for leads is 20%, you need 5 times more. You will need 25 leads to contact you before you close those new clients. And if you're promoting products and your goal is direct purchases, then you can also look at the data that you have available. For example, the average order value when you make estimations of your desired revenue goals. So, but for both lead generation and sales, it can be that numbers on Google Ads, on your Google Ads campaigns, they are different from traffic you get in from other channels. Like it can be that the conversion rate is different, but it's a good starting point to make estimations. So for lead generation, you can consider either what you have capacity for, if there is a limit on that, how many appointments can be booked, how many new clients can you take in per month before you're fully booked. And for other types of leads, like sign-ups to a membership, a free trial, a program, how many do you need to get in or ideally want to have to make this profitable? Second step is what you are promoting. So what you want to promote with Google Ads, which of your services, offers, or products do you want to advertise on? It doesn't have to be all of the services or service categories available for your business. It can be just some of them. What you need to be aware of is that each service or service category will need its own campaign, and you need to allocate a budget for each campaign. So this also depends on the budget that you have available, at least to start with. Let's take some examples. So you could have a Pilates studio and offer in-studio Pilates classes, in-studio instructor training, online Pilates classes, maybe also online yoga classes, or online instructor training. And for this, the campaign objectives or the landing pages might be different, the location, maybe the target group, and also what you write in the ad. So you will see in the next steps how it's really valuable to be more specific on what you're promoting. Let's take some examples. could be you have a Pilates studio and you offer in-studio Pilates classes and in-studio instructor training, for example, or also online Pilates classes or online yoga classes. So these are four different things to promote that you can choose between depending on what you want, because the campaign objectives will be different, the location, maybe the target group, the search terms. So all the way in the creation process of the campaign, there will be a difference. It could also be that you're a wedding photographer, or you offer portrait photography, maybe also in different locations. And this is important to define in order to complete the next steps the right way. Now, if you have different services or products and you don't know what to prioritize, then you can think about what is maybe a bestseller, or what is a popular product or service of yours, something that you're already selling a lot or getting a lot of inquiries about, because this indicates proof of concept, which is definitely an advantage when we run ads. And then also we know that it has to be something that is in demand and that people already search for. Sometimes the advertiser wants to promote a type of service that is not very well known and search volume might be quite low. So once you do keyword research, you will also know more about this, but you can start to note down what would you ideally want to promote, and also several options that you can then look into once you get to the other steps of doing keyword research, and then you have to decide. You can also consider about the price and what's more profitable for you. For example, if you're a hairdresser and a popular service is haircuts, but your prices for balayage is much higher, so it's much more profitable for you when you get in clients who book this service. And often you will also have to see this during account management, but still it's something to consider. So write down here which services, offers, products you want to promote, and make a list of what you would prioritize. What would you prioritize to promote now? And maybe also in the future, like what would be the next step in 6 months from now? Remember that your account, you can always expand that. So you can always start with a few campaigns within one category, learn about this, become familiar, and see what works. And then what you learn from this experience is what you apply when you build new campaigns and promote other services. Third one is targeting. So who do you want to target with your ads? The objective with Google Ads is not to get in as much traffic as possible, and that's because we are paying for every traffic, so we want it to be as relevant as possible. That's how we have a higher chance of getting conversions and paying less, have a lower cost per acquisition. Right, who do you want to target with your ads? Here there are two layers that you can define. One is about knowing your ideal client and target audience of those who are most likely to convert. So what are their interests, their desires, their dreams, challenges? What is it they look for? And here you can brainstorm what you know about them. It's not that we have these criteria to mark in the Google Ads account, but it helps to find relevant audience segments. This is something that we will get to, and also to know what to highlight in your ads with ad copy and how you write it with the messaging. The other part is demographics. So this is really straightforward. It's the age, the gender, location, and language. Now, here, these are settings that you set on campaign level. Age goes like this: from 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 45 to 54, and so on. So the age gap is 9 years. This is what you can select between, and you choose which age groups are relevant for you. Then we have gender, whether it's men or women or both. And we also have a part of the audience that will be unknown. Google has data on most of its users. They really gather so much data about each profile, like much more besides this in demographics. But there's a part of the users that is unknown. They don't know about this. So there will be a percentage that will say unknown. So you also have to decide whether you want to include it. It could be targeting women, but also unknown, because you know that men, they could be clients. It's not your main target audience, but they could also make purchases or become leads. And then you have that. But if you know that you want to exclude an age group or exclude a gender, then you want to mark off what is unknown. Okay, so about the geographic location. Here you have the options of targeting an entire country, state, relevant for larger countries like the United States, for example, choosing cities or zip codes. And we also have the option of choosing radius. So targeting the whole world, of course, that never works, especially not with Google Ads, because they will just throw out your ads to wherever to wherever there are searches, and you won't have any control of where they're actually appearing or how they are divided into these different countries. So very important to select at least on country level. Then, if you know that your target audience is in capital cities, in specific cities, or in certain states, well, then this is what you would have to select. And for local businesses, for example, if you have a clinic, a shop, then you can choose this local area. And this can be by city, and it can also be a city with a radius. Let's say you know that people are still willing to drive in from 20 miles around. Well, then this is the two locations that you target. And if it has to be, it could be you live in a large city, for example, so it has to be zip codes, or a radius from a certain point, because you know that people are not willing to walk more than 5 miles around, for example. Then this is what you note down. And once you get to the campaign setup, you will see that these are settings that you can define. The geographic location should be about where your target audience is, either where they live or where they are the most. This is how Google defines it, by choosing that they have presence in this location. And lastly, we have language, and this is defining which language your target audience speaks. It will also often be the language that your ads are in, but it could be that it includes more than, if you're promoting in English, for example, but on international markets, you can also include more languages if this audience is likely to speak English. Number 5 is landing pages. So these are the pages that we want the ads to link to, that the visitor visit after clicking your ad. In order for you to get conversions, you want to drive traffic to relevant landing pages that are closely related to what you're promoting. So maybe you'll have these ready on your website, and maybe you will see that you need to add new landing pages or change a bit what you already have on your website to make it more specific for what you're promoting. A brief checklist to what you need on your landing page is, first of all, that it's optimized for mobile. There's a lot of mobile users, so check that it's responsive and that the page speed also loads fast on mobile. It's the page speed, both for desktop and mobile, and you can check this on Google Page Speed Insights tool. You just have to type in your website URL. It can be the landing page you have ready or just the home page. It will also give you an indication for this. And preferably your score should be above average. Then you'll need a clear call to action. Focus on one call to action, highlight it, and have it placed several places on your page. And lastly, you need a simple lead form or checkout process. And by simple, I mean that there's as little information as possible to fill in, and that it's visible and easy to get to, because we want to make it easy for the visitor to convert. Number 4 is ranking on Google. So because we're doing search ads, we want to define which search terms to rank on, the keywords, for this group of audience we have defined. What we want to do is we want to have our ads to appear in relevant searches. So basically to appear in searches that matches what we are offering. So we have to put ourselves, think about what would this person potentially type in on Google. So we have to imagine that someone is aware already about a problem or has a problem and is looking for that solution. Because this is not an awareness type of campaign. It's actually, we actually have the possibility to reach people who already have an intention with their search, who are further down the funnel and more likely to take action. So now we can brainstorm which search terms we want to rank on. We don't need to make a list now of 200 possible keywords. It's not about that. It's just about having a starting point. Maybe it's really straightforward and clear to imagine, to find keywords on what you're promoting. And maybe it requires a bit more work to get these ideas. But what you can do is imagine that it was you who had to search for it, like what would you type in on Google? And also imagine your ideal client, this target audience. What could they possibly be typing in? You can also ask around, ask a friend or someone to get other ideas. This is from people. So, and there can be so many different variations of looking for the same thing, that it's a good place to start, because you can do research on this afterwards. It's to have something to start with. What you can also do is a small search on Google. So if you go to Google and you start typing in a phrase, or you start typing in relevant terms, Google will suggest finishing this phrase. It is based partly on your own search history, but it will also come with what there's already a high search volume on. These keywords, they don't have to be single terms. And it doesn't have to be a phrase either. It should be something in between. Often this is what performs the best, because either it will become too generic if it's one word only, and too narrow if it's a longer phrase or if it includes a lot of terms. But you will get to this once you do the research. Right now it's about brainstorming your ideas, taking notes to this. And you can also think about how can this term look in with different variations but still mean the same. So let's say someone looks for an online course on a certain topic, but it could also be that they look for a workshop, but they're equally interested, or they look for a masterclass. So here you can also write down those different options, and then also think about the intent behind. If they write to book something or purchasing, like shopping online, or they add some of these terms to the service. Then you can group these into themes, just briefly, but it's so to have a group of related terms under each theme. Let's say we have this coach promoting a program where it both covers self-love, healing, embodiment, and so on. So it could be relevant searches that says self-love, coaching, healing, coaching program, and so on. And these could be divided into two different groups. Once you have notes to your relevant search terms, you have brainstormed it, you can move on from there when you get to the keyword research. Lastly, we have the budget. So what is your monthly budget on ad spend per month? How it works in the account is that you set a daily budget for each of the campaigns, and it will spend this times 30, so during a time frame of 30 days, and that will be your max spend limit per month. So I recommend that you note down the overall budget for the entire account, and then if you're promoting several services or products or product categories, then you can write down how you would allocate this, just to have an idea about it, whether it's half-half, or that no, I want to push this offer more and allocate most of the budget here, and then secondly this other service. Have in mind that it's best to be able to stick to this ad spend for 1 quarter as a minimum, because 1 month of testing your campaigns to get your desired return on ad spend is a really short time frame. So it's better to have an amount that you're willing to spend this for the next 3 months.